This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hello, my cat-loving friends. This is Linda Hall, co-host of 19 Cats and Counting, and we are so excited.
We are.
We have been watching Pam Roussell from afar, and we've often said we'd like to talk to her. And then we worked with a couple of clients who just swore by her up and down and what she does with animal communication and holistic healing and feeding. And we can't wait to get started. So we're going to take a break for this ad, and we will be right back and get moving.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your Cat Tree Tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. cattreetray.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to 19 Cats and Counting. I am your co-host, Linda Hall, here with my lovely BFF, my blonde better half, and according to my husband, my work wife, Rita Reimers. How you doing, babe?
I'm here with Mr. Dexter, who is trying to knock over my microphone. Well, since the name of the show is 19 Cats and Counting, we're still counting backwards. Yeah, I lost another kitty, so we're down to 16, Cupcake. But it was definitely time. That whole litter, I had 4 from the same litter. 3 of them have passed. I just have 1 left. They were young when they passed, 12.
We need to talk to Pam about cancer.
We do.
Because nobody else has issues. So let's grab her. Pam!
Hey.
Thank you from the bottom of our kitty-loving hearts for joining us today. We really wanted to talk to you.
I know. We did.
I'm so excited. Thank you guys for asking me to be here.
Oh, we want to learn and we want to share it with everybody else. So this is the opportunity to get both of those done all in the same sitting, right?
That we first heard about Pam from Two Crazy Cat Ladies, right?
Yes. And we kind of adore them and hang on their every word. So when they say we love somebody, we got to check that out. But you are a board certified holistic health practitioner. Bless you. In our behavior practice, we are not against medication. There are times you're going to need medication from your vet, but we always try to hit the holistic options, which often will take care of it before we need to put a cat on Prozac for the rest of its life, etc. So we love what you're doing. Tell us the who, what, why, where, when, and how. Yeah, that's it.
Who is that?
Yeah, I have an interview with a cat.
Of course, for those of you who are listening on the podcast who cannot see, that is the most beautiful cat Pam is holding.
She's such a mess. Of course, why is she acting shy now?
Exactly. I can't be on camera. I'm hiding behind Mom. Exactly.
The camera.
That's so funny. That's my baby girl, Aylin. She's kind of become one of the faces of Perfectly Holistic because she's just so darn cute. And she's a handful sometimes.
Aren't they all?
We all have some of those. Yeah, we have some of those, especially considering that I have 12 cats in my home and Rita has 16. We have a couple of those.
Yeah.
I used to have 20. But no, I'm not. Neither one of us can take in anymore. That's why we now run the nonprofit Cat Behavior Alliance, so that we can, the hope is, build a forever sanctuary for the seniors and the other cats that often get overlooked.
Yeah.
I love
We're
that.
out of room.
So tell us more about what you do.
Yes, thank you.
Well, I am so blessed to have found my life purpose a few years ago. I have a passion for holistic health for myself that came out of an injury that would not heal with conventional medicine. So I was forced to look outside of the box, so to speak, and found Chinese medicine and acupuncture. And what would have led me down a road to surgery, instead, I was healed in 8 weeks. And my acupuncturist said, "Oh, you don't need to come back." And I looked at her like, what? What doctor tells a patient they don't need to come back? It was so weird.
Right.
And I was so excited because I had my foot healed 100%. And so that just kind of opened a can of worms and started me on this journey of learning, okay, what else do I need to learn? That was really cool. That works. I got into naturopathy, and ironically, not for myself initially, but for my cats, because the vet couldn't help them. And so, these chronic conditions, oh, we just need a drug. Oh, you're going to have to put them on, meds for the rest of their life. Oh, we don't know why this happens. It's called idiopathic. Oh, we don't know, and I was like, no, I'm seeing results over here with naturopathy and health and muscle testing. And I know that works. So I'm taking my cat over there. And sure enough, they figured out what the problem was. They gave herbs or homeopathy or whatever that I used for that, and it worked. I was like, holy cow, this is really cool. And so I just began to continue learning. And every time my cats presented me with an opportunity to learn, how they do that with an illness or whatever it is that's going on in their lives, it's like, oh, Mom, you need to learn this lesson now. So it was just a constant, I had 6 cats at the time, so I had a lot of teachers. And so there's always something to learn and coming up. And so I just kept practicing putting into place what I had learned for myself and for the human world, and taking those same practices, applications, theories, philosophies, whatever, and applied them toward cats and got really, really great results. And so I was working full time in another industry, and one of my cats died unexpectedly after receiving a round of vaccines that were required for boarding that I was not happy to do. And, because I learned many years prior that, you need to keep revaccinating cats over and over and over again. And I think that's one of the reasons he had some issues. But that is what prompted me or pushed me into a new way of thinking, and realizing that I could have a platform and teach other people what I've learned and just share information and help them not make the same mistakes that I used to do, and just give them some tools. Give them tools in in a toolkit that is outside of the proverbial box of conventional veterinary medicine. When those don't work anymore, what else is there? Because so many people have just felt helpless, and they're just like, I don't know what else to do. And they're resigning themselves to putting their cats on a lifetime of prednisolone and just masking a symptom, or it's really just because they don't know. They don't know what they don't know.
Correct.
And that's one of my favorite expressions is you don't know what you don't know.
I say that all the time.
You don't know what you don't know. And so you just take those opportunities and you go, okay, what can I learn from this? And it's very hard when it's your own cat, because we're cat moms. It's very personal. We have a lot of emotional investment here. And so it's very challenging for pet parents to kind of step back and be that objective observer and being able to think things through without that emotional attachment. And I guess that's what I'm good at, because it's
that
not
makes sense.
bad, but my heart goes out to them, and I'll do everything for my clients. I mean, you've talked to my clients,
I was just going to say, you are getting us right in the heart, because yes, we've said the same things when we talk to someone, sometimes before we've delivered a plan, sometimes after we've delivered the plan, but they haven't even implemented it yet. We've seen tears. We've seen people let out a sigh. Yeah. It sounds like they've held their breath for 2 months. I actually get misty thinking about it. So I'm going to be started. But, that is the huge, and we can attest to your efficacy, if nothing else, because we have spoken to a couple of your clients who have said, and I said, it's a sign, right? I said to Rita, it's a sign. When the second one hit us up, and she just, boy, she adores you, honey. She would be lost without you. The situation is beyond stressful. and she is ready to lose it. And you have been her guide and her rock in advising her. We have seen what you have done.
I wish I
which
knew
is
about you when Lovey was sick.
Yes. Yeah. There's so many things. And you hit a nerve with one. It's out there. I don't know if you've seen it, but we did a video review of the Two Crazy Cat Ladies Meow Mist.
Oh, we love that stuff.
I have an F5. Yeah, we live and die by that stuff for humans.
It's a mini
and
commercial.
Cats right?
Oh,
I'm like,
nice.
we have bottles everywhere. There's one in the kitchen.
Linda carries it in her purse.
but
Okay.
I do.
It's good.
We went on vacation. My daughter got a hive. I was like, here, but my FIV cat Kismet broke out in some weird bumps all over the place. He was losing his mind, itching himself 24/7.
Oh.
Of course, the doctor, and I all respect the vets, love my vets, love them, but they didn't know what it was. They just assumed it was an autoimmune response to something.
Right.
And the only answer they had was, you called it, steroids.
Yeah.
His liver is already not 100%. It's not dangerous, but it's not 100% from his FIV. And I didn't want to put that stress on him. And also, you can't take that forever.
No.
On a whim, just because I thought, maybe it'll help a little. That $17 bottle cleared the problem up.
It's on sale for
completely.
15 something right now.
Yes. And it's natural. I mean, when you find something like that you don't have, right? That's why we did the review. And I was like, ladies, you fixed my cat.
Pam, I was reading about Snow Bear on your website, and you said the same thing about the steroids and the liver issues.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to be on a cat doesn't need to be on a steroid the rest of his life because it's immune suppressive. So he can't mount an immune response, a normal immune response when it's necessary, and it damages organs, including the liver. It's very toxic over time. And vets know this, but I just think they're just not educated, and it's not in their toolbox.
Exactly.
You know?
They're working with the tools
It's not their wheelhouse. They have to go seek out that kind of alternative education and continuing education. And a lot of times I've had vets even say this to me before. It's because my client asked me about such and such product or such and such modality, and that made me go dig into it and learn about it, or they bought them the equipment to use on their cat. I said, but you have to go learn how to use it. I will buy it for you. And that's how they got them into something. And the vets talk about, that's like a big sign from the universe saying, you need to learn this.
Definitely. Yes.
I'm giving you the opportunity.
It's nice that they're sometimes open enough to take that kind of advice, because sometimes they're not. I love my veterinarian. He's awesome. But oftentimes his answer is just take it day by day, because he doesn't know what else to do.
They don't know. And I don't know everything, but what's interesting about what I do is I use muscle testing. If y'all are familiar with muscle testing.
I've actually had that done. Yes, that is bizarre.
So you tap into the body's innate wisdom through the body's own nervous system and ask the body questions, and you can find out where are the stressors, where are the blocks, what are the trapped emotions, what are the foods that are resonating as stressors, where's the sensitivity at? Are there viruses that resonate? Are there vaccines that resonate? And you can start to just narrow things down and figure out where's the root cause of whatever issue is going on. And then you muscle test to figure out, well, what does the body need to get back into balance? And a lot of times that is stop doing something that's contributing to the problem and continue things that are doing well and helping the problem. But we need to add a few little tools here and there, and, to support systematically or systemically, for targeted support for a time. And let's just work, it takes time for the body to heal. So, I don't tell clients it's not a quick fix sometimes, but I will tell you what, on the emotional side of the energy clearing work that I do, they'll come home and they'll look at their cat. Something will be different. And then they'll say, did you work on my cat? Just, whenever. And I'll say, yeah. She goes, I could tell because he's different now. He's relaxed. Something was changed. They can see the changes almost immediately from just simple energetic clearings.
Linda, you need to get her to work with Deadpool.
I was just thinking about, I have the world's biggest jerk of a cat that,
Oh
It's kind of like, when you have that baby and you say it's lucky you're so cute because you barf on me every 5 seconds. Yeah, it's lucky he's a cat because otherwise, but yeah, we, we've seen, and when I first started, something was going wrong with my body. I knew this. Nobody knew what the problem was. And then things started happening. So they started treating the things. Mm-hmm. As we mentioned when we were talking, Rita brought it up. I don't normally talk about my colon, but I actually had my entire large intestine removed.
Oh, wow.
When we were talking to the two crazy cat ladies, we mentioned it briefly. And my small intestine is hooked up to the exit so that, anyway, it's not without its problems, but at least it solved the fact that things could move forward. I get a spinal stimulator implanted in my back. Move forward. I'm on narcotics. Guess what? I have MS. I have gotten rid of, the thing still needs to be removed from my back. And of course, my surgery cannot be undone, but I have gotten rid of all the narcotics and things that they gave me. And I'm working with it holistically. And there's so much more that I still want to learn. But I did go to a holistic practitioner at our health food store, and she held up these bottles and tested my muscles. And I'm an incredibly skeptical person. Okay. You cannot sell me a bridge or a lake or a swamp. You can't. I'm not that girl.
Unless there's a cat on it. If there's a cat on the bridge, you might buy it.
I'll pay all the money in the world. But she did the thing and she held these bottles with these things on it. And I'm thinking, this is ridiculous.
Is that what you do for the cats, Pam? Is that what you do? Like that?
Well, since everything I do is remote, so I use a picture of the cat. It's the same energy, can't be limited. It's not restricted by time or distance. So the same image of the cat is the same energy that I can tap into as if that cat was sitting right in my lap.
Physical picture, or can you do it on the computer?
Oh, I can do it. I can use a picture online.
Really?
I can use a picture on the phone. This is really woo-woo that you're going to laugh.
I love it.
I can think of the cat in my head and test. I just have to have it.
Wow.
The name of the picture in my head, because again, it's energy. It's all connected.
Yeah, that's what we're starting. I mean, we're seeing proof. There's no denying it. We just don't know a lot about it. But we spoke to an animal communicator some time ago.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Leslie Nace. Mm-hmm. And she was good. And she gave us a meditation that we could do where I am in my mind. I do it every night. I pick one cat and I connect with them and send them love. And I feel it. I don't know. You can tell me I'm wrong, but I feel it.
No, it is because we're such tangible creatures. We tend to rely on our vision instead of our spirituality. Our spiritual eye is much broader and deeper and greater than our actual physical eyes. So we have to just learn to see with that spiritual eye, that heart-centered eye, instead of only what we can see in front of us, because it is so much more vast than what we can see.
Does what you do help with most behavior issues in cats come from anxiety? So are there things you do to help lighten the anxiety in a cat, or things we can do every day so our cats are less anxious?
I always go back to, why is there anxiety? Is it interrelationship? Is it hierarchy? Is it your pet parent is now working outside of the home all the time and they were working in the home all the time? Has there been changes in the house? I have a new client that I just started working with, and the owner, she was rescued off of the street in they thought she was feral, but she was friendly. So it's apparent somebody owned her at one time. Sure. Because she was not your typical feral cat. And this person who picked her up recognized that she didn't belong out there. She was trying to fend for herself. And so that person brought her all the way to her sister in Texas. And a year and a half later, she has these episodes. It looks like anxiety, separation, almost like a separation anxiety.
Sure.
She was describing it to me, and I said, it sounds like she may have abandonment issues, And so I was doing my evaluation on her and trying to find all the, emotional blocks and things like that. Abandonment was the first thing that came up.
Yeah.
So I was able to actually identify and clear energetically an event, because that's something that I've been trained to do, is you can tap into, and ask, can we clear an event that's holding her back, creating blocks from her well-being or whatever. And there was an event. So I was able to determine that it was a spiritual and a relationship related event between two pet parents and herself that happened about 18 months ago. And that's about the time that she was found. And the emotions that were attached to that were abandonment and sorrow and discarded and things like that. So yeah, she has abandonment issues. So when the mama went out of town for a few days and left her by herself overnight, she was just ripping her fur out and just lick, and just, till she was bloody and stuff.
Self-soothing. Yeah.
And she had some over vaccination issues as well that were contributing to something that looked like FHS.
Right.
No, so that's immune confusion, and that's emotional trauma from abandonment. So I always try to go back to find the root cause of something, And if there's inter-house aggression, I mean, you guys are the experts, it could be from a feral cat that's outside waving his tail going,
Yes. We see that quite a bit.
Right here by your front door, So
there is a huge crossover. I mean, that's the first thing. What has changed in your household around the time this started? Did someone move in? Did someone move out? Did someone die? Did blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Even new furniture can do it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Intruder alert.
A new baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. A new kitten, or like you said, even a cat passing. It shifts the family hierarchy in multi-cat households.
Seen that,
You see that. You see it within days.
My daughter's cats, when
like
my son-in-law passed. Oh, I'm sorry, just say
that's okay.
An ambulance came and took him away. And for 26 days, we wait while he's in the hospital. Go together, honey. While he's in the hospital in a coma. And we're just trying to run back over to Nikki's apartment and feed them, and they're not getting any attention. So, and Nikki starts staying here because actually we all had COVID at that time. So we're all here. So basically Dad disappeared. Mom just left. What the heck? And then after he passed, we brought one over. There's no room to separate him in. It was against everything I know from behavior school, but we had to do what we had to do. So we tried to bring one over and then one over. And then I said, I can't leave one alone. So we just brought two. We saw, especially Inky, that cat roamed the halls at night and cried.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Yeah.
That's just heart-wrenching. And
Daddy never came home. So they don't understand why.
Where is he?
Yeah. They feel like they were just discarded and abandoned and left. Didn't have the chance to say goodbye.
Right.
I know. And people don't realize how sensitive cats are.
They're so sensitive.
They're so in tune. They're so insensitive. And they smell stress on if we're high
they
stress,
take it on.
Smell that cortisol on us. They take it on. They mirror their pet parents' ailments sometimes. And sometimes they even develop ailments because they're trying to show their pet parent, hey, you have this problem. And the pet parent's unaware until one day they go to the doctor and they realize that they get the diagnosis and they're like, oh, that's funny because my cat has that too. And the cat's going, hello, I've been trying
to tell you.
No, I know. The one and only UTI I ever had, my cat Precious had one too. So I'm like, how? I mean, I don't even know how that's possible. It was very odd.
Well, we know that stress and anxiety can bring on ailments. We know, no one will argue that stress and anxiety cause heart attacks and strokes.
Yeah.
It can cause a myriad of issues beyond that.
Yeah.
And why would our cats be any different, right? And even the cats that don't appear to be grieving, my daughter tends to wear my son-in-law's shirts. She was wearing one yesterday that referred to her as the best cat dad ever, but she wears his shirts. And so she took it off, and cats can smell things.
Oh, yeah.
All four of her cats, she threw it on the floor. All four of her cats migrated.
They still
laid on that shirt. Oh, wow. And it was like, it's like, Inky was very obvious. Those of you watching the YouTube version are going to watch me ugly cry now. Even the ones that didn't show, Inky was very obvious in his grief, but even the other ones migrated to that shirt, and we realized this is more powerful than we knew.
They grieve for each other too.
Yes, definitely.
That's true. And I've had a friend of mine who had a cat pass in his home. And it was like we don't even know why. It's like one day she seemed a little off. The next day she passed away and he came home and there she is and, whatever. But then one of his other cats passed away that were brothers. One was and the one who was still living, he was trying to show him before he had to take him out, bury him or whatever. And the cat just kind of like ran off. And he's like, I can't believe he's so insensitive. This is his brother. And I'm like, cats grieve differently. Just because you think he's being aloof and indifferent doesn't mean that he's not grieving. He's just showing in a different way. And so I did my muscle testing and energy work and everything. And I was able to determine grief showed up as a big emotion for him. I said, see, you just didn't recognize it because it didn't look like what you thought it should look like.
It's like what I went through with Sadie in Trouble, Linda, in my book. My Sadie died. She was and it was sort of expected, but not at that time. She had ventral septal defect. She died. I came home and found her, and her best pal, Trouble, was hiding in the closet and won't come out. He must have been next to her when we think she had a heart attack. And he just was never the same after that. His whole personality changed. And he was brokenhearted till the day he died 5 years later.
That's so great. It's so heartbreaking. And it just goes to show you how sensitive they are and what emotional creatures they really are. And they want to just be here to support us and love us and help carry our burdens. And, it's just up to us to take those blinders off and just look at things through their eyes. And what do we need to do to support them in a way that is meaningful to them? And understand them, which is probably why you guys are so successful, because you do that so well.
Thank you. Yes, I hope. Thank you. I do. I can't say that I got the gift of being an animal communicator, but I am obsessed with cats and their body language and how they work. Most fascinating creatures on the planet. I dare you to argue with that one. And in learning, I have learned to watch their signals, their signs that you should back off, because they don't always just, growl or hiss. Maybe they're just licking their lips a little bit or, so I'm feeling, and we do grasp, I think, the brevity of the emotional impact that they have. They're not what people sometimes assume they are. And so we often use analogies in our sessions to relate. Imagine if you were, dropped in a foreign country, what it couldn't speak language, whatever. Imagine if your family disappeared, whatever it is to fit to that, to help them to relate to what their cat's feeling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's always lessons to be learned.
Yeah, it's true. Linda likes to say cats teach consent too. So really everybody who has their kids should be raised with a cat, because they teach you. Is it okay to touch them? Is it not okay to touch them? Dogs are easy. They're like all over you all the time. But
they wear their hearts on their sleeves.
You have to seek permission from a cat.
That's true.
Yeah. I said when I'm elected president of the United States, which I really don't want that job, but I will have a mandate that everyone must have a cat in their home, especially if they're raising children, because this is how to learn to pay attention to others and to read their signs and to respect their boundaries, and that they don't have to scream no or push you away in order for them to be saying no, and that you need to be aware of that. And if you can teach your children to read the cat, they can move that on to the humans in their lives, right?
Absolutely. It's just always great to raise pets with children. They're great teachers.
They really are.
It's a great way to teach responsibility and caring for, a living soul.
Exactly.
A living soul that's just as important as ours.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. Rita, I'm sure we're at the 30, or we're at the halfway point or
Shoot,
past.
we need to take a break.
Past.
Oh my gosh. Let's take a little break and we'll be right back.
Tune in next week to part 2 of this episode of 19 Cats and Counting.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.